I am gonna use up all of my battery. But you know what? It's worth it. We're here now. I'm sorry that I look so bad. This is gonna be a disaster, so have fun with that. I used to have a camera, an actual, like, recording camera, but I lost it, so that's why we've got this potato camera iPhone. Sound quality included, you're welcome. Am I on testosterone yet? No. No, I'm not. Why? Because the British healthcare system is terrible. But it's okay. We're getting there. Slowly but surely. And with all of my student loan down the drain. So, great. I say down the drain, it's not actually. It's a blessing and a curse. The curse is that I'm not patient. I have the patience of... I just don't have any patience. I have used nearly all of my money to fund this, and it's just been appointment after appointment to try and figure out whether I need it or not. And I know that I need it, but other people don't. And I think that's the most frustrating part of all this. Just explaining the same things over and over again to people until you're blue in the face and you're just like,
can you please just stab me with a needle and get on with it?
So that brings me to here, April 2019. I started the process of trying to transition in
Thank you, Mother Nature.
I started trying to transition in September 2018. So that was when I actually reached out and started making the process. And the first thing I did was find someone online who could talk to me about it, and that was Gender GP, and they are based in Wales. And I had a little kind of online session with them, just kind of going back and forth, me saying, you know, I'm FTM, transgender, I want to medically transition. What do I do? Where do I go? Help me, please. They were nice, they were really good, and they said, find a clinic, try and talk to someone, go to your actual GP. So I did that, and I went to my NHS GP, my local one, and they told me, you know, the process is really long, right? Like, if you want to transition on the NHS, you have to wait about 18 months. And I was like, that's a really long time, but it can't be too bad. So I kind of thought, oh, maybe I'll do that. Then I looked online and I discovered it was far more than 18 months, more like 2 years. So I was like, okay, I can't really live like that. I was 20 at the time, so I would have been nearing 23 by the time I actually got to see a gender therapist on the NHS. And that's not even counting how long it would take to get on testosterone after that. So I was like, well, okay, I might go the private route. So I went to Harley Street Gender Clinic. Kind of low-key regretting it, because I could have, yeah. I don't regret it. I just think the process that I took was more expensive and longer than what it could have been if I'd gone a different route. But I didn't know. I didn't really know anything. I only had the internet, and like everyone's process is so different here that it's really hard to tell where people went and what they did. So I paid about, I think it was £200, £150 for my first appointment, which is a lot of money, especially if you're a student and, you know, you don't come from a rich household or anything like that. So I was using my student loan to do that. And my first appointment was really good. It was brilliant. Basically, I just had to get a diagnosis of gender dysphoria, which I got. I explained everything to the therapist, and she was like, yeah, you're trans. And, you know, I knew, but it was nice to have the confirmation. So from there I was thinking, great, it'll only be a couple of months now, right? Yeah, till I get on hormones. I was so wrong. I'm like looking back and I'm like, you idiot, what is wrong with you? Like how did I think it was gonna be that easy? I just don't know. I was so stupid. I just didn't know anything. I'm just like, oh, you poor innocent soul. So I was kind of filled with hope and joy and this false sense of, yeah, everything will be great now. It was not. I had to fork out more money for another appointment, like a follow-up consultation thing. And I get why they do it, because they have to really, really make sure that this is what you want. Testosterone is permanent. Like, yes, there are some changes that are reversible, but they're not gonna turn you back into the gender you were assigned at birth fully. A lot of changes will stick with you forever. And if you're not sure that this is what you want, then you should not do it. But I was really set. I was like, yes, this is absolutely what I want. And I don't understand why you're making me wait. So I started to get kind of frustrated around like December time, which is ridiculous. It had only been a few months since I'd reached out. Of course it was going to take longer. I'm actually like in a really fortunate position that it's only taken this long, which is, you know, again, not something I was prepared for. So I had my third appointment. Was it my third? No, second appointment. My something appointment on my birthday, on my 21st, and she was again telling me, okay, I can give you a letter to change your passport, gender marker and your name and everything. So she gave me that, and that was another lot of money. Like each one gets to about £200, something like that, because there's admin fees as well, which you have to pay on top of the appointment itself. And then my third appointment, which is the last time I saw Harley Street Gender Clinic, was in March, at the end of March. So we're nearing a month since that last one, and that one was my hormone referral appointment. That was over a month ago. Am I on hormones yet? No, I'm not. Yeah. So originally I was told that I would be put in touch with the London Transgender Clinic. They did not get in touch with me at all. The therapist at Harley Street told me, yeah, they'll get in touch within the next few days. This was in January, and I just never heard from them. And I was thinking, hello, do you have my details? Have you got everything? The answer was no, they did not. So the last time I saw her, she said, I will put you in touch with Gender GP. And these bells went off in my head, because I was thinking, hang on a minute, I already talked to them. I talked to them in September. You're telling me I could have gone with them from the beginning? And it turns out I could have, and it probably wouldn't have taken as long. So don't be me. Don't fork out your entire student overdraft to pay for these appointments, because you don't need to. So since then, I've been in touch with Gender GP in Wales just to get all my info. Like, the woman I spoke to had not seen any of my records, so again, I was just repeating myself and giving her the whole shebang, the whole background, everything, my life story, you know, in about an hour. And then after that's done, they send that off to be reviewed by the doctor. And now finally, today, I sent off some proof of my ID, and I sent them a signed consent form to go ahead with testosterone. There's top surgery as well, which I should be getting this summer, hopefully. That's a whole other story. Basically, I really shouldn't bind anymore. I've done a lot of damage to myself. Not so much that I can't do it anymore. Like, physically I can. It hurts, but I shouldn't, but I don't really have an option. So I really need to get surgery soon. I do have a GoFundMe. I'm gonna link it, just putting that out there, because it's hella expensive. So if you can help, please do. I'll buy you a drink. That kind of defeats the purpose of giving money. I'll give you a really big hug. I'm still pre everything. I'm still playing the waiting game. Thank you, motorbike. I'm still playing the waiting game. I'm still just sitting here looking at my emails like every hour, waiting for a reply, waiting for someone to tell me, yep, you can start. It's kind of one of those things where you never really know what's going on. You're always just kind of relying on other people to tell you. You're always just sort of relying on other people to tell you where to go and what to do. And I think that's really the most frustrating part, is just being in this constant, I like to call it purgatory. This like in between of, I feel wrong. I just feel wrong, but I know it's gonna get sorted. I know it will be fine. Every time I open my mouth, I cringe. I could have phrased that better. Every time I talk, I cringe at myself. Like, this is not the voice that I hear in my head. We all know that. It's part of dysphoria. So, that's where I'm at. That's what's happening right now. And I'm kind of excited. To be honest, this is the most positive I've felt about it since the beginning. So yeah, I'll keep y'all updated. So to make this a little bit more thorough and actually informative, I've gathered together all of the information about pricings with the clinics that I used, and it's actually quite shocking when you add it all together. Like, I already knew roughly how much I'd spent on it, but now that I've got the figures here, it's kind of like, wow, yikes. So the first clinic I saw was Harley Street Gender Clinic, and for a consultation it's £250 with an extra £135 for report writing and admin fees on top. So each appointment I had was about £385 for a 90-minute appointment with the therapist. I was actually refunded £75 for one of these appointments, so it wasn't as much as it would have been if I'd had to pay full price for it all, but it's still a lot of money. So all in all, my Holly Street Gender Clinic appointments were about £1,100. That's rounding it up. So yeah, I really wasn't kidding when I said that I had to spend my whole overdraft on them. And then my appointments with Gender GP were just a 60-minute Skype session with one of the counsellors, which was £60, and then £150 for a setup and admin fees again. So altogether, I've spent £1,285 on appointments and fees and just trying to sort this whole thing out. And this is before I've even started T. So I think it's so important to consider the route that you want to go with, and this is even before you've started hormones. I think it's so easy to get into that mindset of, I just want to start and then we'll see what happens from there, when you really, really, really need to plan before that. The private route is so risky because, you know, the healthcare system is there to make money, not the NHS, the private one. And they will try and do that. And, you know, the specialists I saw were not money hungry people. Like the woman in Harley Street tried to save me a lot when she refunded me for the time I didn't spend with her, which was really considerate and I really appreciate that. But these are companies in the end, and you need to remember that and just make sure that you're planning properly. And yeah, so I hope that helped. I hope that kind of ties things together a bit easier. Sorry about that ending. My phone died. Not great. Hopefully, I'll find my camera soon. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. See you later.